Hello, War of the Visions newbies, this is Suspect Amy, and I'm here to do a quick video guiding new or returning players through which selection quests they want to tackle and in what order. Before I do that, let's take a quick trip down memory lane, shall we? For those of you that don't know, selection quests originally released in War of the Visions years ago as extremely challenging late-game content. Back then, units could only be maxed to level 99, and you could only bring low-rarity characters of a specific element to the fight. It was a typical tower challenge where every chamber got harder and harder, but the reward was a unique UR hero, and all of the shards needed to max him out. Every element had a selection quest and a reward hero, and to be honest, some of these guys were pretty strong. There were very few low-rarity units for each element, and to clear these selection quests, you had to have the best equipment, espers and vision cards, along with a ton of patience and some RNG luck. Fast forward to today, and heroes can be leveled to 140. There's a bunch more low-rarity units that can be easily maxed from the Farplane archives, and you're even allowed to bring that element's reward UR unit into battle. So selection quests are now something even early to mid-game accounts can clear. While the reward UR heroes have kind of fallen off and you still need to bring some decent gear, this is a fantastic way for new players to flesh out their elemental teams quickly, so they can take part in more game content. Now that that's out of the way, let's talk about what selection quests new players should attempt first, and which ones they should avoid until later. One thing you should note is that clearing the first level of the selection quest is ridiculously easy. There's like 3 level 10 bad guys or something. This first level is important because clearing it will reward you with the unique UR unit, along with a summon ticket for 500 low-rarity shards. The reward UR unit should be included on most teams and leveled up as you clear more floors. The 500 low-rarity shard ticket is very important for getting these teams up and running quickly. Let's start with the number 1 selection quest every new player should attempt, and that's Dark. You can solo the entire thing, at least until Chamber 10 with just one hero, Shadow Lynx. You actually get a bunch of shards for her in the beginner bingo boards, and if you add those 500 summon shards and a bit of Mog metal spending, you'll have her to 140 in no time. The reason she can solo this is because of her high evasion, where none of the enemies can land a hit on her. Hopefully you bought this hat from the newbie equipment shop. Then just equip any espers and vision cards that grant evasion, luck, or agility, and you're good to go. Take note of 2 things. She doesn't have any large-scale AoE skills to clear those pesky multi-kill missions, so you'll likely need to bring an esper that has a large evocation. Also, be sure you do not bring anyone else to battle, even the reward UR unit. Many of the missions fail if someone dies, and they won't have the evasion Shadow Lynx has to stay alive. Clearing Chamber 10 is enough to get Lamiga to EX 120, and these 2 will be solid members of your Dark team for many months. The next easiest selection quest is Earth. Your team will consist of Mont, Etre, Galzak, Moraga, and Balo. Mont is the game's main character, and you'll have him at 140 within a couple of weeks of starting. Etre and Galzak can both be maxed to 140 in a couple of days from the Farplane archives. Etre is far and away the easiest character to max, because the quest where you farm her shards from is only level 40. Moraga is the select quest's reward UR. Just level him up as you climb and he'll be great. And the unit I recommend spending your 500 shard summoning ticket on is Balo. This is a bit controversial because Balo is a lowly SR unit. If you're going to spend your 500 shard ticket, why not spend it on a stronger MR unit that's harder to get shards for? You hit the nail on the head right there. Not only are MR units much harder to get shards for, they also require more shards to level up. An MR unit needs a total of 960 shards to max out. 500 shards only gets you halfway. SR units need around 800 shards to max out. R units only need 670. I think you see what I'm getting at. If you combine the 500 shard ticket with how easy it is to accumulate SR or R rarity shards, you're very likely to have a maxed out unit on hand. With Mont's tankiness, Galzak's healing, and Moraga's damage, this Earth team will easily unlock Moraga to EX 120 and possibly even higher. The next easiest selection quest is Water. Your team is going to look like this: Ramada, Dea, Krace, Rachas, and Severo. You get a level 99 Ramada on day 1, so that's a no-brainer. Her Mana Strike ability is the key to disabling any boss. Dia and Krace can be maxed out to 140 from the Farplane archives. Rach's is pretty strong as the reward UR hero, and as with Balo, you'll want to use your 500 shard summon ticket on Severo. He provides heals and magic damage where needed for an easy run. The 4th easiest selection quest is Lightning. Your team will be made up of Liarte, Lisette, Silma, Velna, and Vadim. Every account gets a level 99 Liarte for free, and since she's an R unit, her shards should be pouring in. Lisette and Silma can be maxed to 140 from the Farplane archives. Just remember that Silma isn't actually in the unit area, and instead she can be farmed in the story section under a side event called Ancient Tomb of Leonis. Velna is the reward UR unit. Like Ramada, she has the amazing Mana Strike ability to disable bosses, and Vadim is where you'll spend your 500 shards. Last but not least, the 5th easiest selection quest is Fire. Your team will have Kamral, Revelka, Minwu, Naya, and Mishe. Kamral and Revelka can be maxed out from the Farplane archives. Minwu is the reward UR unit. I would spend the 500 shards to max out Naya. The only sticky part is you'll need to accumulate shards and level up Mishi the old-fashioned way, through summons and Mog medals, but since he's an R rarity unit, I feel like you'll have him ready to go long before you clear the other 4 selection quests. All other selection quests I didn't mention require significant time and energy to build their teams for, so I don't recommend them at all to new players. Revisit these ones mid-game and see where your roster is at. My final tip before logging off is please do not attempt to build teams for multiple selection quests at once. They require quite a bit of resources, and you don't want to slow your account by running low on these. I recommend pacing yourself, building and completing one selection quest before moving on to the next. That's all I have today. Thanks for watching my video. Bye, everyone.